if you ever want to know how to save yourself a bunch of money, recovering a bench seat, bucket seats, whatever it is, well, what you do is you get you some pieces, and you get some more pieces, and you cut out what you need, and you piece together what you need on the cheap. It'll save you a ton of money. Once we get done with this, you'll know how to do this yourself. You can do this at home for pennies on the dollar. Okay? The only expense you're going to really have is the seat cover, because that's the one thing I don't sew. So we're going to save a ton of money by not buying frames, not buying cushions. We're going to redo bits and pieces of old cushions, glue them together, and make them look great, and make them functional, and save a bunch of money doing it. So let me show you how.
With this is the bottom seat. We're going to need to clean this all up, give it a coat of paint. We got our springs, we got our adjusters. We got a nice set of springs. They're ugly, but ain't nothing that won't clean up. But nothing's broken. Everything's intact, so we ain't got no issues. This is driver's side, this is passenger side. We'll wire wheel all this, clean up, give it a coat of paint, make sure that the adjusters are moving nice and good. And this is kind of how they work. Like I said, this is driver's side. So you hit your button, and you see the mechanism here. You hit your button, and it makes a gap, and then it will move, and you can adjust it, and then it brings it back, and it locks it in place just like that. And then it won't adjust. Need a spring here. I have it in a bag. I need a spring here to here to help bring it in, but this is the same thing. But this one right here, that connects right here to right here. See the hole? That is when you pull it on that side, it pulls it on this side like this. See? Same thing. Makes your gap. So, and then you can adjust. So we're going to take both of them off real quick. Take the wire wheel to this, clean this all real up real good, and make sure there's nothing else broke. And make sure that they're oiled up good. And then we got the back one that's back there. And we're going to make this work. This is my first one of these, doing one of these. I've done bucket seats, but I've never done a bench seat for a Chevy. So we got the kit right here. It's in the bag, comes with the pliers and everything on it. And we went medium gray to go with all the black interior in this thing. So I think it's going to turn out really good. Okay, you're going to end up with the 2 tracks, some hardware, and a bunch of these little things. All right, I'd say just cut them off. You can use the cutoff wheel or dikes. I just used the needle nose pliers, got a hold of them, just basically just pried them off. But all this needs to be cleaned up so we get some paint on to get it protected for the next 50 years. So here we go. Okay, look what I found. Look what I found. Broken. All right, but this is a pretty easy fix. These are pretty robust. These are nice and thick. It's, 1/8 of an inch thick. So what we're going to do is I already got it cleaned up. I'm going to tack it on this side, flip it over, tack it on the side, and then that'll be fixed. But this is the only broke one in all of them. They're all good. And it's a tag. I don't know what it's for, but it does have like a service number or something on it. I don't know. And you guys can tell me what that's for. It was dead center. Ain't holding nothing together. Okay, like I said, it's a pretty big piece of sprung steel. So it took about 3 tacks to get it back in place. And then I got a piece of I'm going to let that cool, and then I'm going to put this wire wrap on it. I don't know if it's going to do any good, but it'll make me feel better. And so there's the finished product. I know that shrink wrap probably ain't going to do much, but it'll make me sleep better at night. But all I know is that thing is there. She's welded. She's ready to spring, and we are ready to shoot some paint.
Okay, seats cleaned and painted and dried. Seat tracks and hardware cleaned and painted and dried. Okay, this is what we're doing. I've got a good end for the passenger side, and this was the end for the driver's side. Okay, so I basically cut this piece off of that piece. All right, just like that, right? So I had this good piece of a cushion in the center, right? Not a bunch of stuff, of a real nice solid pad. So what we're going to basically do is we're going to glue this together, these two pieces, this piece and this piece, or this piece and this piece, and then we're going to use this as a template for the size. We're going to shape it and move around, because on the bottom sides is a very specific how it's done, and it wouldn't have done me any good to put the new seat cover on this. 54 inches. So as long as I keep the first cut and make the back side of this look exactly like this, then we should be good. I just got to shape it, cut it, make it fit. But that's what we're going to do. So first things first is we're going to take these two pieces and we're going to glue them together, make them one piece. All right. So that's pretty close. That's close enough. But we'll get this nice and close, and this should tuck in really nice. It's just a matter of playing with it while the glue's on it. And what we're going to use, I got two choices. Okay. This is brand new Gorilla Contact Adhesive. This is some 3M that I've had on the shelf for a long time. I used it. I know it works great. 3M, but I'm going to try this. And if it doesn't stick good, we'll recut it and we'll use the 3M. But I'm pretty sure this is pretty old. I mean, this is 15, 20 years old. So it still shakes in the can, still there, but I thought, why not? Everybody wants Gorilla everything, so we'll try Gorilla Glue. We'll see which one works. All right, first thing we got to do is we got to get some glue on, and they're pretty tight, so it's just a matter of spraying it. All right, here's the thing. 3M, and they spray differently. The 3M sprays basically just a spot, and the Gorilla sprays a fan. So I think just for prudence sake, I think we're going to do a little bit of both. Okay, so we're going to spray this on here real good because she seems to still be okay. So we're gonna super glue literally these pieces together. Okay, there's one side, and then we'll take the fan. Yep, see, it just shot everywhere. All right, so we're gonna do this with the Gorilla. I don't really care if it gets on the outside. Okay, so there's one side. All right, then we'll take this side and we'll do the same thing. I don't know if you can see. All right, we're gonna we're gonna make swirls and get this covered with the 3M. And I want to especially get up here towards the top edge because that's the most important part. Okay, there's the 3M. And now here's how the Gorilla goes on. It really just fans on. And you can really put the squish to it. You can get it up close. All right. Glued, glued, glued. Okay. So now, whoo, that smells. All right, we're going to take both these pieces. And we're going to get them exactly where we want them to begin with. We're going to get them on there. Line the lines up. You got a little bit of time. All right. Now, that should be, it's already sticking. All right. Okay, so this is the front and this is the back. So you know the back piece is going to be covering up, so it doesn't have to be super, super perfect. But look, it's already... Once you stick them, you better have it exactly where you want them once you stick it. Now, I'm also looking, yep, she's straight as a string. Okay, that's what I was worrying about. I was worrying about it being straight. So, it'll tack for 1-2 minutes, depending on the thickness. Let me see. Let's sit for at least an hour. Okay, so once we get this all cured, we're gonna give it an hour. We're gonna take this piece and use it as a template, cut it in, cut it out, and then shape the outside here to make it work right with the new cover. So now It's just a matter of letting it sit. Okay, now this seems like it's a lot, but it's not a lot of work. I mean, I took a really good sharp knife and I cut the pieces off and got what I needed off of bits and pieces. All right, but this is how you can do things like this for little to no money. Okay, I mean, I paid for the seat cover, but to reuse old cushions is something that you can do. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not ever going to be seen. Okay, and it'll be just as good and just as comfortable as spending the big bucks for new cushions, which I don't think is necessary. But she feels pretty good. It's really, yep, it's not too bad. So, all right, go let that cure, and we'll do something else for a while. Give it an hour. Okay, now while we're here, I basically put this up to where it was cut at, right? And use this kind of as my eyeball for cutting around. So this is kind of my thing here. And then this is the part, this cutout right here is the part that I have to play with on the backside. So not a bad thing to put a couple marks on it to tell you exactly where you need to cut it and move it down. But well, basically, I'll do some slicage once this dries, and we'll work with it. It'd be nice if I had another end like that. I could just flip it over and trace it really close, but this is actually not too awful bad off for the lines on it. So, but we won't go by that. We'll just we'll work it close and then play with it as it goes. And that's kind of what it looks like without the pad on it, like I said. And then this is a rough cut to slice this section off to get pretty close to the size. See, and I kind of like this because this is where my ass is going to be, which is fine. It's a nice new cushion, thick, not broke down, not like that. There's a lot of people out there that would put a bunch of stuff in there and just kind of make it look good and cover it. But I ain't doing that. I'm gonna make this right because this is where my butt's sitting. Okay. And that's what she looks like. And I just used, it's an old school thing. All I used to cut that with was an old hacksaw blade with a piece of tape on it. All right. So, like I said, I went wide to give myself plenty of room to play with. And we're still curing. So I still got like half an hour to go. But that's what we did with that. We're just going to start working it slowly here and there. We'll flip it over. Once it cures, we'll put the frame on it from that side and find out exactly where we need to cut. And then, okay, it's been an hour. If I did my job right, it should flip up over on itself. And it did, and it does. All right. Okay. It looks like I need to spray it a little bit more down this crack. Okay, just to make it better. So, but this is the kind of stuff that you find. It's got a little bit of a gap in it right here. So we'll spray some more. We'll pull it open. We'll spray some more in there. And we'll stick some up to make it do that. And we'll get that. And we'll have to let it cure for another hour. All right. There we go. She is officially stuck together. Okay, so now we'll take the frame and put it on top of this. All right. Okay. All right. Now see how the seat frame, everything tucks in right here like this. Springs. Everything goes in their little pockets. All right. And this is where the hog rings go in for the fabric. All right. So this is where we're sitting on this. Okay. Pretty daggum close. All right. So I think we did pretty good here. So we need our marker again, because we need to cut to make it look like this side. So this edge is along with the spring ends, okay? So that means that the edge here has to be along the spring edge. So we'll just go down here and we'll draw us a line straight down with there, and then we'll cut us a cutout from this side. Okay, so if we make it look exactly like this side, this is the passenger side, so the cut is on the edge of this spring. So we're going to go here. I'm trying to stay even here. I know it doesn't look like it, but see, we're trying to go here and then right below it, right about right there. All right, that should be just about our line. Okay, so this is basically where we're cutting. We're cutting the line here. We're cutting across to here, across down at an angle. We're going to zip this out here down to this line, because that's exactly what happens on this side. It's 3 inches here, 2.5 inches there. It comes down to this line, right? It comes across, and then it comes up at an angle. Okay, so I'm trying just to basically make it look like this on that side. So if I did everything right, I'm going to basically cut here, down across, in, and then I'm going to loft it, and then come across here, and then come across here, and then finish the cut here, because I want to leave as much of this as possible. So let's see if we can get this done. All right, and this one I'm not doing with the hacksaw. This one I'm doing with the sharpest knife in the house. It's a brand new knife, and if you tell my wife, I'm gonna lie. All right, I'm gonna lie. All right, so we're just gonna work down this line right here, and I just want to make sure that I'm going. See where it is? See where the line is? Just to make sure I'm sticking my thumb in there to make sure I don't go farther than I need to. Okay, so that's my cutoff right there, and I'm just gonna work this line. As you can see, I'm just working down the line. I'm going to work across, come over to this edge, come in here, and then I'm going to cut down. But like I said, if you tell the wife on me, I'm going to lie, and don't say nothing on the Thursday Night Lives. And don't forget, Thursday Night Lives are coming up. And I'm just making sure that I don't go past certain points so I don't cut into the main piece here. All right, then I'm going to come around, but trim this here. All right, now comes the fun part, the final part of the plan here. Let me see where I'm still stuck here. Getting close. One big chunk. It's like carving a turkey. Literally. All right. That one's loose. Looky here. Looky there. One piece. All right. All right. Now comes the test. Is it going to fit on the frame? All right. So let's go get the frame and see what it looks like. Looky there. All right. Now remember how the other side was like even with the springs? And we are even with the springs. We are sitting flat. Glue's holding up. Even with the springs, just like on this side. Okay, so now we got to make that side look like this side. All right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to flip this thing over so we can get a better view, because I want to know what I got to do to trim this up to make it right. All right. Okay, so I need to make this side look like this side, which it already kind of does. Okay, so I need to, I'm just eyeballing here. I'm just looking at what I'm looking at here. So I need to actually shave this down a little bit, clean this up a little bit. I don't want to trim too much. All right. Now here's another way to reference it. I'm just kind of throwing it up here, the old piece. So I know you need to trim a little bit off here, but basically she's not that far off. I need to trim this up a little bit so it tucks in nice. As you can tell, it's a little bit square. But the honest truth is that if it'll fit inside the cover, I ain't got to do much trimming here. So I wish I had one of these on this side, a good one off of the old pieces, to flip it over and just be able to lay it edge to edge instead of having to like guesstimate like this. I mean, this kind of hard to do, but the honest truth, this is straight up and down. She's actually, I got to trim this. I feel like if I trim this, we can test fit the cover and see if it fits. And if it fits, so be it.